Back. So today we're going to look at doing your text boxes in Affinity 2. And before we actually get over to Affinity, we're going to take a look at my Microsoft Word document so you understand what I'm going to be importing. And this is the bug mage, and if you look down here, it's 75,747 words. And I just wanted you to see this, that I don't have chapter headers on this. I don't think anywhere in it. So it's one continuous document. Your manuscript can look different from this. I tend to write in Courier, and I tend to go double spaced. And this one looks like it's justified, which is usually not. So it's usually over here. But let's see, we'll go edit, select all, do that. That's the way it should be. Okay, so typically I do Courier, typically I do, this is just what it looks like. It's 12-point double space, 1-inch margins, is standard Shun manuscript formatting. When I transfer it, this will transfer as the normal content. You see this little window up here and styles. This is what it'll come at, should come out as normal content. And I'm pointing this out because it will apply when we get to designing your styles. Because what you have on your document will transfer into your Affinity. So we'll click out of that and go over to Affinity. So on our Affinity master page, let me move this up a little, just see a little bit of stuff in the background. We're going to come over to your left. You'll see the T in a square. That's your text box. We're going to start in the corner and draw a text box. Oh, I didn't take it all the way over. There. Okay, I've drawn a text box. I'm going to draw another text box the same size, and you'll see they line up. I'm also going to draw bottom boxes, footers on both. And again, it's easy enough to line them up to be exactly the same. So the third text box that we're going to draw is going to be your content, and you want to stay below. You'll see where it'll try to grab it. I don't want it to grab it. So I'll stay below the header and stay above the footer, about the same distance. And I'm going to do the same over here. And again, we're going to line up and draw it in. Very simple. So this is my header, this is my content, and this is my footer on my master page. This is not where you're going to be pasting in your Word document manuscript. This is the setup to get to that point. This is the master that you're creating for your novel. So let's come up in here into the header, and I want to use copperplate regular. I want it to be 8-point, and I want it to be centered in my case. Now you may want to have your title of your book and your name at the top in your header to be off to the left or off to the right. Those are your choices and your decisions. In Affinity, you can also add your section identification, which would be if you want to have the title of your book on your left-hand side header, then you would do the title and then maybe a dash and then insert section. And when you insert section, your sections will be, say, the name of your chapter. You can do that with Affinity. I'm not doing that. I can come back in add-ons and show you how to do that. But for this particular basic framework, let's just look at adding the header here. I'm using copperplate regular, and the name of the book is The Bug Mage. Okay, now as you notice, I have it aligning to the top, and I'll show you how to get that. But before I do that, we're going to highlight that, the words, and I'm going to enlarge it for you so I can show you what we're doing next. Let's get this up nice and big so you can see it. Okay, so you can see the bug mage, and I want you to go up here to this black square, rectangular. It says font color. We're going to click on that. Now, I want to apply an opacity difference. Opacity is how bold that, do I want to go to full black, which would be up here, which would be nice and bold. That's regular type. But when I highlight it and I click on this, let's just push this off to the side a little. Let's see, don't let me. Okay. It allows you to reduce that, the bug made here. Let me click on that. You see how light it became? So you have the choice to make your header and footers lighter in opacity. I happen to want mine to be around 60%. They're at 58%. If you look off to the right here under opacity, it tells you the exact percentage. And I would like it to be at 56%. Let's see what it did here. So we want to click on that. And this is going to reduce it considerably. And this makes it less visible on the page. So I'll go back here, go back to my 8-point in size. Okay, so the next thing you want to look at here is I centered it. Very simple. If you worked on Microsoft Word or Scrivener or something like that, you're very familiar with these tools. So I'm in center alignment, and I want to come over to this justify vertically, and we're going to look at that. Now I'm telling it to align at the top. Now the reason I'm telling it to align at the top is I'm preserving my outside margin, my top margin. And if I aligned at the bottom, the bug mage, I'll show you that. Let's go over here. That's centered and bottom alignment. That's going to ignore my outside margin that I measured and in the instruction I put into the beginning of this page. I want to preserve that. So I want it to be at the top. And that's creating this border at the top for this. Now, the other thing I want to double check here is that I happen to like adding an extra space in between my words on when I'm using copper plate. It's a peculiar font, and it's all caps, or they appear to be all caps to your eye. So for me, this adds a little bit more separation, easier to read. So the other thing I'm going to do here is pull up. Let's see. All right, click on that. Oh, I want to reduce that. All right. I wanted to pull that up so that I can, in turn, I can pull this up. So I know what my 8-point is going to look like in the header box. Doesn't need to have all that extra room beneath. So the space between my header and the type in the bulky part of the center of the book is going to be this distance from the bottom of the edge of the bug mage to the top edge of this text box. So I'm going to come over to this one, and I'm going to apply, again, I don't want bold, I want regular, and I want 8-point, and I want centered, and I want top alignment. Okay, and on this one, I'm going to put my name. All right, and I want to apply this opacity again. Hopefully it'll take. Sometimes it doesn't take here, and I have to go back into to check it and adjust it. But my name is on there, I know that's what I want. And like I said, it should be applying the, oh, sorry, I grabbed that. It should be applying the opacity, but it doesn't look like it is. And for the moment, I'm going to ignore that. I'll come back and repair that, make sure it's where I want it to be. So I'm going to come down to the footer, and again, I'm going 8 point. I don't want bold, I want regular. I want the opacity. I want centered, and I want this one to bottom align for the same exact reason, where this one is the margin preserved here, this is the margin preserved here, and I want to go to Insert, File, let's see, where did I see the insert? Document, text, Insert, Field, Page Number. Okay. And again, I want to highlight that, highlight, and I want to apply the opacity. I want to adjust this down, and I want to adjust this down. So now I've created the same margins. And I'll do the same here, as I'm going to go to regular, 8 point, opacity, and let's see, we want to come over to center, and again, we're going to bottom align, and we're going to go edit, document, file, text, insert, field, page number. All right, see, it's put it up here. So we want to go center, and we want to go bottom alignment, and we want to go there. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing and take this and take it down, and take this and take it down. Okay, so as you can see, I've done my headers in both. I've tried to do the opacity in all of these, and like I said, I'm not seeing the opacity like I'm seeing here, so I'll solve that. But I want you to know that you can get to that. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go on my content block, and I'm going to establish Palatino, and I'm going to establish regular, and I want, we're going to choose 11 point, but I'm probably going to choose 10.5 point, and I'll choose that later, and we'll want this to be justified left, and I'm going to choose to justify vertically. Now, justify vertically should fill this text box. It might be something, maybe I'll just leave it for now. I can come back. All of these settings you can adjust later. What I want to show you at this point is that we're going to move this to where it becomes more like a book, because I know you're looking at that going, I only see one page there. All right, so this little arrow here connects the two text blocks. So I'm going to click on that and hold down my shift. So hold down your shift key. Let's see. Click. There. Now it should go from one to the other. And now you can see that it's reading that the text that comes out on this page will move over to this page. And that's the instruction that I've given the master at this point. And like I said, I'll come back in, check the opacity on these. And if I decide to go up to a larger size on my page numbers, I can do it later. At the same time, it's going to depend on what I see. So the next thing we're going to do is click on the single page. Now everything should translate. This header should read in copperplate regular 8 point. You see all that. Let's see if it takes the opacity. Let's see. I'm going to highlight it here and see if we can get the opacity to touch up. I'm still not doing. Okay. The main text box is coming in as Palatino. I don't want bold. I want regular. It's 10.8 point. Okay, that's all right. And everything seems to be correct to what I already did. And I'm checking. I recommend you do check because this is a program and, you know, it's fallible. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my document, edit, select all, edit, copy, and I'm going to click on this, file, we're looking for the place command. Here's the place command, and we're going to place. Well, it's asking me to look for it. So I have lots of work. So let's see. We can find a bug mage. There it is. And there's the document. Okay. And so as you see, it transferred my programming from Microsoft Word directly over. And so this little eyeball will allow you to see if there's continuing. You see my stuff is continuing. So it hasn't added the page yet that comes down next. So I can turn that off. Right there in that little eyeball. And then I can hit my shift key and click on that. Let's see, did it work? Oh, it's thinking. Okay, so it should fill in all of the pages. So you see they popped up over here on your left, and this is where you pasted in your manuscript document. Now remember, it's pasted in 75,000 words, and it's providing 517 pages, which is going to be smaller because this is a 12-point font and it's on double spacing. And that's not what I'm using for the book, but that's what I used for my manuscript. So at this point, I recommend you save your document. And I've named mine Bug Mage 6x9 for publication, and that's what you see here. The next thing we will do is go to your styles, which none inherited. The only style I had in my Microsoft Word document, we'll go back here, was normal. And in the styles here, usually there's a list, but I have no style chosen basically. So I'll need to go in and add styles for my finished work, my finished published book, and this is going to come in here. So under styles, I'll be adding styles. So you would come up here to new, and you're going to add styles. You're going to tell the program how you want this to be handled. So I want my content to be handled in Palatino, and I'll apply that, and it'll inform what's happening. So we'll do that next in the next video. So this video is all about setting up your text boxes, trying to get your opacity to work, something I still have to solve, and pasting in your manuscript. So go ahead and save that. You already did. Let's see. File. Save as. And it's saying I'm saving it, and I'm going to put it under Bugmage. And I'm going to replace. So this is saved to my desktop because that's where I want it to land for me to work on. And that's it for this video. And then we'll do, we'll start working on the style sheets next, which will show how to do your layouts. And that's it.